Welcome to another episode of Measured. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we mostly be talking about AI content. What is AI content? How is it beneficial? How could it potentially hurt you? We have done our own test actually over the last couple of years. We've been running a test where really this all content is kind of coming from. And then we're going to take a look at kind of an outline that you could take to successfully use AI for your content moving forward. Don't get me wrong. It spoiler, it involves human edits. So don't think that that answer is coming with just it all just be handing it to you. We're all about consistency. We're all about showing up. We're all about doing the work. So that's going to fall all the way through that segment of this. We'll have our customer question and then finish up with our featured project like we do each and every episode. So what is AI content? That's kind of the first thing we're taking a look at. It's anything that you used to get information back from generative AI. So if you're going on ChatGPT, you're on Gemini, you're on Google AI mode, which Gemini is Google anyway. So I should just stop at Gemini there. But it is you going out and asking a question and getting an answer. So if you're looking for anything long form, whether it's like a blog, frequently asked questions, you're just in general trying to compose an email, writing an article, any of those things that you are going out, getting that content, and it's just all coming back to you. That's AI content. So when we're referencing AI content in any of the things that we're saying after this part, it is just the information that is given back to you. They like to call like ChatGPT an answer engine now because it's just giving you the answer. So it's you going out, asking a question, you're getting that information back. And that information you're getting back, you're really not making any modifications to. It is that word for word coming out of, I'm just going to use ChatGPT, and that is your AI content. There's two different kind of types that we're going to talk about here, which is just your straight up AI generated, which just means that you got it. Means you got it. You got your answer, you copied and pasted. AI generated, and then we're going to talk about AI assisted. AI assisted would be that you got your answer and then you made some human edits to it. That's where I kind of said spoiler alert as we keep going through. The common theme of it all will be human element and the benefits of that will bring for you. So AI is super fast at helping you draft those rough estimates, rough drafts, but don't let that be the end all. And so as we kind of go through here, you'll find, as I had said, we are kind of taking a look at how AI content can be very helpful and how it may be hurtful for you. But first, one thing that we have ran into and we're using sometimes a different acronym, which is LLM, and that is your large language model. And on the screen, so if you're listening, you're not going to see, it's just ChatGPT is pulled up, and I'm just going to say, what is a LLM? And so large language model is what it comes back to says. But ChatGPT or Gemini are LLMs, large language models, as I just said a few minutes ago, answer machine, not the type that you're thinking of when someone leaves you a message on your phone, which most people, I should say certain generations will think of voicemail, but if you ever had the landline back in the day, you're thinking of your answering machine. But really large language models, that is what an LLM is. And why that kind of matters is that I shouldn't say that it matters. I have gotten people asking me that question or someone's throwing that LLM term at them and they didn't fully understand or really weren't grasping what an LLM is. So large language model, think of it, it's just your ChatGPT or Gemini as we kind of keep going through. And that's just more of a fact that it is a fact, but more of a thing that I'm just sharing with you as it came to my mind the other day when a customer was like sitting in a meeting. One of their, it was like the CFO was throwing out some terms, acronyms, and they had no clue what it meant and thought They needed to be learning something completely new. And it just turned out there was just a little misunderstanding for them. And so we decided to throw that in the episode really quick. But where AI helps. So what are some practical wins where AI content just helps you? So when you are brainstorming a topic or an idea, if you need help with an idea or you need to expand that idea, because you may already know what you need to be talking about, but don't have that full on topic, that is perfect. If you need an outline, so let's say you're putting on a presentation and you need to build out kind of an outline of what is all going to be presented, absolutely perfect. And it's fast to help with that. The draft. You're going to hear me talk about a draft multiple times now. But when you are drafting content, not publishing content, when you're drafting out that content, AI is so awesome at that. When you need that initial draft to be able to make your edits to, fantastic win for you. If you are trying to repurpose like a blog, so if you have old content that's still relevant, but you need to update some of the information. So when I'm saying relevant, is that topic is still extremely relevant, but let's say the data behind it has changed. That blog might be 3 years old, but it's still very important. But now it's time to share that data of what it is today, not what it was 3 years ago. And that AI can be extremely helpful for that. And again, you're going to be having to make those edits to give it the actual numbers. So you'll be giving that human element to that. So it's awesome at that. It's awesome at scaling location pages. So I'm just going to use, like, if you're a plumber, for instance, a lot of times on plumbing sites and you see all that local SEO and you see all the pages of locations of those towns that they do. And there's like 40 of them. And then it talks all about the town and all the things that happen there and how you offer plumbing service there. It's perfect for that. So it is a speed tool. It's not your final strategy, is all we want to say on how the practical wins, but it is so great at helping you get to points faster. But the big thing we're going to keep talking about is making it that draft and not the final result. So as I mentioned earlier in the episode, we had a customer come to us who wanted us to do their SEO, is how it all started, but wanted it to all be done with AI. And they had a firm belief in AI. And I mean, this was a year or so ago, so it was all pretty new at that moment on how it was all coming out, but they were dead set on using AI for everything. So we made a deal with them. And for us, it was more just of a test. So did they really hire us for all of it? No, because in the end, I wanted to also learn off this experience, and they wanted a cheaper option to get the results they thought they were going to get. And very skeptical at first on what we thought would happen. So I don't ever go into something like that thinking like, oh, you're wrong, because that's not too much curiosity on wondering to know if something's going to work and taking the time to figure out if it's going to work. That I was actually quite excited for it, and which is why we agreed to do it in the first place. And so all of their services pages, and their service business. So there's about 4 or 5 service pages, their homepage, their about us, contact us. I mean, every ounce of content on that site was generated with AI. None of it really was edited. And I shouldn't say that none of it was edited. There were some edits for when it just comes back, because if you ever get your AI content and just think it's 100% perfect, then I don't know if you fully read it all the way through. So there were minor edits throughout, and then weekly blog posts. So we're talking about, for a year, they had weekly blog posts going, all generated with AI. There was barely any human element. Again, if something was completely off, it was getting edited, but mainly there wasn't a lot of human effort put into it. And when it first launched and it first started going, it started to index on a few of the keywords that were relevant. And they probably held those for about a month. And then it all dropped off. And it's still to this day, well, I'll get to the next portion of it all, has barely no traffic. No one's coming to it. No one's finding it. Google has not found any authority in it. We build websites for a living. So it was built as properly as we could build it. And everything, although it was all generated with AI when it comes to like the titles and descriptions, because again, this was the whole part of the test with the customer. And every blog post had it had internal links, it had the external links for sourcing all the way through. So it's not like we cutting corners on different sorts of those things. Now, that being said, AI did go a lot of times choose where it was sourcing out to. So that could have been part of it as well with the blog, but nothing. Absolutely nothing were they getting for all of this time. And you have to think about all of that content that was going on their site. I mean, you're talking about once a week having fresh new content, which generally content is a huge component when it comes to SEO. You have to have that information for Google to even know that you offer it. And all of that information was there. And yes, it probably all does still read to this day as AI. But it did not work. And that is like the biggest thing that when we're working with a customer and they're asking us even to this day, like, well, I'm just assuming AI is writing all your content. It's like, it is not. We have a lot of analytics that we can show you that has not worked. So what's fun with it, so we're playing with this next little phase. In the last 4 months or so, we've been adding a lot of different human elements into it. It's been, AI is still generating out a lot of their stuff, but then they're having a team member of theirs go back through and make edits that are more factual directly for them. And they've started to see a little wins. But in a lot of the things I have been experiencing, even in the past with others, is that all that old content is not good to still be sitting there. So we'll see if they are up for deleting out about a year of old blogs. And then the biggest thing is having to go back through all their services pages and putting in the time and the effort to write those up, because what we have learned is that you can't just take an AI generated piece of content, put it out for the world. So you, instead of making it your draft, you're just making your final article and publishing it out. Now, I'm not saying everyone out there does not have a better understanding on what to ask and what to tell it you need, because there are people that are getting extremely well. Again, I'm just going to say ChatGPT, using ChatGPT to get that information back, but having that human element is still going to be such a large factor into it. And so when I'm jumping into this next little portion on where AI hurts, just know that it can hurt you, that it is not all that it reads up to be. Yes, is it great for doing those things that we talked about, getting you that outline, getting you that topic, even helping you find topics? It is. But you have to realize when AI is generating you that content, it is looking at those major sourced pages, index pages in Google. I'm just going to say in Google, and then regurgitating it out for you. Yes, are you getting it in a different way that it's probably wrote than what they've found it as? Yes, but are you giving it any new information or having your own take on it? No, like it's just regurgitating it, and Google isn't learning anything new or finding you any different than anyone else. So you're just taking that risk of being the exact same as what it already knows. And so when you take the time and you put in your human elements, so we're talking about human elements, what are we talking about? anything that has numbers that are factual, that those actually relay back to your business. Mini case studies, if you have screenshots or images, not AI generated images, but your own images that you can put into all of these, whether it's just your service page or a blog page, or if you're writing a different sort of article, to have all of that human touch. And then finding that value of taking the time and making your voice. I know this will get a bunch of comments on, which we appreciate, so please comment. But when you can try, and I shouldn't say try, you can now make sure you set a voice, provide it different articles that you have wrote, so it sounds just like you. But it is, when I'm saying giving that voice, is just making sure your content has your voice. That when I look and read one page and I go read the next, that it's wrote in a very similar format, or not even the same format, but in the same tone. That when you're reading through each of your service pages, or if you really enjoyed one blog and you go to the next one, it's completely different. I mean, those are just some simple signs. So making sure you keep your own voice, your own tone throughout, not being generic, and having that time, just taking some time. I get that AI is, what's so wonderful is it is so fast and so easy to get so much information so fast. But take the time, put some human element into it, and you will reap the rewards, especially when we're talking about SEO, which is all our main focus on this whole topic is around SEO. Because when you are, whether you are just wanting to be ranked in Google, or now you're wanting to be ranked in ChatGPT or Google AI mode or Google AI overview or Gemini, like it all kind of comes back to that trust and authority that Google is already giving you. And if you just have all generated content and Google doesn't see any of it, then you might as well as not even taking the time to get that fast content and put it out on your site, because it is doing nothing for you. So don't just have all AI generated content. We get asked all the time, do you just generate AI content? No, we have an actual blog writer. Recommend getting one. It is the best thing that you can do, is have that human element. Or when you're working with a marketing agency, find out if they have or use that human element, or how honest they are with you about the content they are generating for you. Because there are major wins you can have when you just take a little bit of time. So the last portion of all of this, we're just going to talk about a little bit, is that safe workflow, which we've already kind of talked about. Or I should say, I have given hints to, which you probably just don't know I've given hints to. So the safe AI workflow, pick a keyword for your search intent. AI builds you that outline. Let AI draft version 1. That's where I kept talking about the draft earlier. Let it draft it. Take that draft, add your human edits. So whether you're giving it that truth, those examples, whether it's text or image, adding screenshots, doing a mini case study, put all that in, publish, measure, and improve it. That simple. We're not saying to take AI completely out of this, because we just know that that isn't a thing, but you can make it better, and don't be afraid to make it better. And the one thing that we would love to anyone who is listening to take a 4-week challenge, it is, you are going to publish 2 blog posts. One, so same topic. Obviously, you can't do the exact same title, because depending, like if you're using WordPress, you can publish it out that way anyway. But they need to be published around the same time. They need to have the same number of backlinks. They need to be practically darn similar to the structure. But you're going to let one be an AI draft. You're going to make a few human edits too, and you're going to publish it. The second one, you're going to have a human write. And then you're going to go back and you're going to look at 2 weeks, and then you're going to look at 4 weeks. And if you really, I I would love for you just to do an all AI one, but I don't want you to hurt your site at all. But have an AI assisted one and have a human one. Now, I get not every human can write a great blog or is a writer in general. So I understand that aspect of it where that might just not be an easy challenge for you, but you will easily see which one has ranked faster, which started indexing out faster, had more visitors, is tracking more keywords too. And come back to us, and I get that that'll be a late comment, and let us know what was it, your AI assisted one or was it your human one? We have done it multiple times, and it has always been the actual human side, which is why we think it's always very relevant to find someone who is still writing for you, or finding an agency that still takes the time, or I shouldn't say takes the time, still finds the value in having human writers. Because yes, does that cost you a little bit more? Absolutely. It is a human doing it. But at this time, it is still completely outwinning your SEO when you have all those human elements. So yes, your AI assisted will still be good. A lot better than just putting out your AI and just getting that draft and hitting publish. But that human will still help you win all the way through. And don't be afraid to still, yes, use AI. You can do those topic generations. You can do a lot of that stuff that we were talking about, but get those human elements in there and watch your improvements happen. We're excited to see how that works out for each and every one of you. We're going to move into our question of the day. This kind of goes back to the website of the business. If you are just listening, can't see on the screen, it says, we launched a new website. Why isn't anyone finding it yet? And we're talking about a brand new site, never had one before. And I usually just smile. And then I always have to remind myself that I've been in the industry for too long to realize that, yes, most people don't understand how the web works or how long does it actually take for your site to start getting indexed out. So first and foremost, when you launch a brand new website, does Google know it's there? No. We try to build all of our sites as optimized as possible. But if you are not an ongoing, we offer SEO as a service. And if that's something you don't find value in, or it's not the right time for you to do that, perfectly fine. There are still things that obviously you could do on your side of the business, whether you're on your social platforms, you just go out and share that you launched your new site. If you want to do paid ads to start driving traffic there immediately, depending what kind of site it is, if it makes sense for you to drive that traffic there right away. But you're talking months before Google just automatically finds you for that. Obviously, you can set up your Google Search Console. You can submit your site index. There's little things like that that can help you along the way. But in general, for you to build that trust and Google to find that, just to find you in general, it's just time. So you're talking out some months before that, you're just going to start getting indexed out. I always tell people, like, we're a smaller town. So if you're a part of I'll just use Spencer as an example. Let's say your business is on the main street. Well, Main Street has their own site and a directory. Easy way for your site to start getting indexed out because you're getting that backlink back. If you're a member of a local chamber of commerce, again, another place to get that citation and get that link back. So there's also different organizations that you may be a part of that make sure you share out that you have that website. So those links can start happening as well. All just simple little things that can help you out along the way. But just know when you are launching a brand new site, it is just time, and most people don't like that. We are here to help you speed that process up, but we also know that that isn't for absolutely everyone. And not everyone wants to pay someone to do that, which is perfectly fine. But otherwise, you're just going to have a little bit of patience, and don't be afraid to share out all the information out on your own. So the last part here is our featured project. And up on the screen, just to remember that I'm always pulling it up. Our show runs off our tablet, and so it's going to be a little bit smaller. So on your own computer, go to SpencerIowaCity.com. That is our featured project this week. It is the city of Spencer, which is where we are in Spencer, Iowa. And we had the joys of launching a new site for them. And it was about last summer that this launched. And the site truly is just a makeover of what they had before. They already were on WordPress. All we did is give them a facelift. We did reorganize some of the different categories for pages, but when working with city government, there's so much information they have to give out. So it's just trying to find a fun format to put it out in. But the biggest part of, or I should say the most exciting part of the whole project and kind of how the project came about was the app. So we had the privilege of designing and developing an app for the city of Spencer. If you go out on your Apple Store or your Android or your Google Play Store and search Spencer, Iowa, you will find the Spencer, Iowa app. In June of 2024, Spencer went through a devastating flood. And one thing that came out was communication and keeping people informed. And our app actually links with the, I'm drawing a blank. This is terrible. It gives you the actual river levels of where our river stands. And so there's different alerts that can go out depending on where the water level is to notify people sooner than what happened when that flood came through. And one other really cool component of the app is that it is all ran through WordPress. So anytime they add something to the WordPress site, it automatically goes out onto their app. There's no other place they have to go and make any modifications or changes. It is all ran through their website. So just kind of a unique little feature that we were able to do for them. So again, it's SpencerIowaCity.com. Like I said, go check it out on your own device, because me pulling it up on my tablet and fitting it into the little screen size that it had isn't giving it all the justice that it should. So we appreciate you tuning in today. Please like, comment, and subscribe on whatever platform you are catching us on, and we will see you next time.